Visit CCGCastle.com and get 5% discount on your purchase with TCG Center 5 code. Check video description or visit CCG Castle for more. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. Today's video we'll be looking at another deck, and this time we have Fright Night Yveltal with the hammer. So it's a Fright Night hammer time, as I mentioned a couple of times. So the last few weeks I actually played Darkrai Giratina with the hammers, and I actually had a lot of success with it. I won 2 times my local tournament. I was actually once second, and it is definitely pretty badass deck. I mean, with the hammers you have tons of options. Basically, if you have Crushing Hammer, you flip a heads on the coin or roll the dice, and the one roll on the dice, you can actually discard one of your energies attached on one of your opponent Pokemon in play, which is definitely very strong, especially against those decks who depends on the special energy cards like a Rainbow Xerneas, like a Darkrai with the Giratina, like even this deck. I mean, tons of people actually play a Fright Night Yveltal without Zoroarks actually, and with Ninja Boys, Yveltal-EXs and Umbreons, and they also depend on those energy cards. I mean, you cannot attack with your Pitch Black Spear Yveltal if you don't have Double Course Energy and the Darkness Energy attached to it, and even if you can get those combos turn 1 with the Max Elixir and energy from hand, if your opponent play Crushing Hammers and Enhanced Hammers, they can easily just disrupt those energies and waste your turn just for nothing. So basically today I will introduce my Yveltal Fright Night Hammer deck. So basically Fright Night Yveltal will says that as long as this Pokemon is in your active position, each Pokemon tool card in play will have no effect. I mean, it will still be a tool card, but it will not have effect. So with the Pitch Black Spear you can hit for the 60, and the 60 to one of your opponent benched Pokemon EX. In my opinion, it's pretty decent because if you can go first, maybe set up energy on your Yveltal, prevent your opponent from being able to play tool cards. I mean, he can play tool cards, but he cannot use the effect of them. You can definitely benefit from that because all you really need is to use one of your 2 Lysandres that I actually have in this build. Lysandre, the most heavier retreat cost on your opponent Pokemon in play, and pretty much put it in the active position when you can just Pitch Black Spear for 60 and 60 on the bench to one of your opponent EX Pokemons. In my opinion, that's a pretty sick combo. And on the other side, we have 2 Zoroarks with the stand-in. They can actually stand in pretty easily in the active position and hit with the Mind Jack. They can hit for like a 10 up to 160 for 5 Pokemons, or 250 for 8 Pokemons in play. So they can even counter Mega Rayquaza pretty easily, but any other deck like Mega Mewtwo and other decks who actually depend on those setting up with Hoopas and Shaymin. The other thing in this deck is definitely one copy of Yveltal Break as a tech with the Belfort Knight. I mean, this attack will hit for 120 and also 30 to each of your opponent benched Pokemon that already has any damage counter in it. So basically, in 1 turn, you can hit for like 6 prize cards. How? Pretty easily. All you really need is Pitch Black Spear. Like, I mean, you need to Pitch Black Spear twice, and you can knock out 4. You can knock out 2 Shaymins for 4 prizes. But if you have Yveltal Break in play, you can even grab 6 prize cards in just a single turn, which is just pretty sick. I mean, definitely very sick. And also 2 copies of Shaymin-EX for the setup, and 1 regular Oblivion Wing Yveltal, because he can also accelerate energies to one of your benched Pokemon in play. And of course, I totally forget to mention 1 Yveltal-EX as the big attacker to counter those Giratinas, for example, with a lot of energies with that Evil Ball. Also, Ice Cyclone can help a lot. You can hit for 90 and recycle Double Course Energy to one of your Yveltals or Zoroarks on the bench. So 12 Pokemons in total, 36 trainer cards and 12 energies, which means that this deck will end with the 60 cards. Also, very interesting thing is that I decided to go with the 1 Parallel City because I can get rid of my Shaymins. Also, I can take advantage against some decks like Mega Rayquaza, so I can put him down to like 3 Pokemons in play. I mean, with the Karen in form, it's not going to be a big deal, but still, they will have to play Karen. They will definitely lose a lot of Pokemons, a lot of resources from play, and also to counter those decks like maybe Greninja in theory to reduce the damage for 20, because against Greninja this will actually be a very, very bad matchup in my opinion. And also, for example, that Xerneas Rainbow Road, because also Xerneas Rainbow Road depend on the tons of the Pokemons on the bench, so they can actually hit for a lot of damage. But as long as I don't have Fighting Fury Belt, Rainbow Road Xerneas will need just like 4 Pokemons on the bench, 4 different types, so that means even 2 dual types can take a good advantage against you. So basically, from item cards, as you can see, I'm running 4 Crushing Hammers and 1 Enhanced Hammer to be able to disrupt my opponent energy from play. 4 copies of Max Elixir, so I can actually hit turn 1 as many energies as I can. It's very important. 1 copy of Super Rod, so I can recycle back my energies or Pokemons from my discard pile into my deck. 4 copies of Trainers Mail for better consistency, same as the 4 Ultra Balls and 4 V-Seekers. From supporter cards, 1 copy of Hex Maniac, so I can shut down those abilities. 2 copies of Lysandre for multiple control, as long as you have your Yveltal with the Fright Knight in the active position. 2 copies of N, so basically I can end my opponent to the remaining prize cards, so he can drop that many. Same thing is going to happen to me. 4 copies of Professor Sycamore. And from Stadium card, as I mentioned, 1 Parallel City and 2 Silent Lab. Well, Silent Lab, why Silent Lab? Why I decided to go with the Silent Lab is just because in the current meta, tons of decks actually depend on the turn 1 setup. So if you go first, if you can have Fright Knight Yveltal in the active position, and if you have Silent Lab, in that case your opponent will be able to use effect of the tool card, but you can actually trade Silent Lab for shutdown Scum the Ring or setup from Hoopa or Shaymin. So in that case, your opponent will not be able to set up. And on the other side, with the Silent Lab in play, for example, you can stand in still with your Zoroark because it is actually a stage 1 Pokemon, so you don't need to worry too much about it. 2 copies of Float Stone for that stand-in retreat, which is definitely very good. 4 copies of Double Cores energies and 8 Darkness energies, which means 60 cards in total. So very, very interesting deck. I actually played with it a couple of times, a couple of 10 times actually, to be honest, and I have pretty good success with it. So it still needs to be tested a lot, but this version of the deck works pretty well. Probably some of you are going to ask yourself why I didn't tech Pokemon Ranger. Just because I think that Pokemon Ranger is going to be necessary because of the Crushing Hammers and Enhanced Hammers. Probably a lot of time Glaceon will not be even a big problem because we have Yveltal. Jolteon is not going to be a big problem because it can have 160 HP and it can easily be countered with the Crushing Hammer, the Enhanced Hammers, and the Zoroark. So in my opinion, those two are not that big problems, but they can easily be put it in play with something like a Ninja Boy. And of course, in case of the Vileplume block, with any of those 2 combos, you can definitely be in a problem. But this is the reason why I actually have Yveltal, Yveltal-EX, and Zoroark. So I have 3 different attackers that they can actually counter that situation. So, as usual, if you're looking for any of these cards, you can find them on CCGCastle.com. You can find the link in my video description, and also by typing TCG Center 5 code, you will also get 5% discount on your purchase. So let's do one quick game so you can actually see this deck in the action. So see you in the game. Alright guys, so once again, welcome back to the game. So today it's a Friday night hammer time. Very, very, very good deck to play with it. Trust me, it's just pretty badass. I mean, you can hit for tons of damage, you can spread tons of damage, you can disrupt energy cards from your opponent, which means that you can actually do some crazy things right here with the deck. So there's one Yveltal for me to the active position. More than that, I have Ultra Ball, so I guess I can even Ultra Ball turn 1 for maybe Shaymin, maybe another Yveltal, maybe even Zorua. Who knows? But the very good thing is to see that Double Cores energy turn 1 in play. There is no doubt about that. So waiting for my opponent to set up his active Pokemon so we can actually kick off. Alright. So, I'm waiting still to kick off right here, and there we go. So it's a Klefki on the other side. Unfortunately, the fairy Pokemons have resistance -20 on those darkness types, so I'm not going to be able to one-hit knock out his Klefki by any means. I mean, it's a decent card. Look for the keys. Actually look for keys and reveal the card from the top of your deck until you reveal an item card and you can put it into your hand. So it's actually a decent attack. I mean, for just the 1 energy card, you can search your deck for a few actually item cards. So, and there is a Ultra Ball. for the Hoopa-EX. So if I started first, maybe I could actually find that Silent Lab and prevent my opponent from being able to set up. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, so this is going to be a Skandering with the Hoopa, but really doesn't matter. I really like to see Hoopa in play, to be honest, because with the Hoopa, okay, Gardevoir and Gardevoir EX and Shaymin-EX. With the Hoopa in play, I'm going to be able actually to Lysandre it in the active position, so it will have to retreat cost, and in the meantime, I can just easily spread the damage around with my Pitch Black Spear. So definitely a very, very good play. So there is even Shaymin-EX, so tons of EXs. I mean, 4 EX Pokemons already on his bench. So I will have definitely very nice time using my Pitch Black Spear all night long. So my turn, and I'm thinking about playing Ultra Ball for N and 1 Darkness Energy in order to grab something like a Zorua. Will not go with my Shaymin yet. And this is gonna be 1 energy attachment. We'll take the risk actually right here. And we'll Sycamore for 7. Crushing Hammer. Okay, there we go. Energy Disruption is good. So Max Elixir for 1 energy on my Yveltal. And right now, all I really need is to pass my turn and sit and wait to see if he's gonna be able to maybe somehow remove my double course energy from play. If that's not gonna be the case, I can easily attach one of my energies next turn and basically spread the damage around the board. 60-60 is definitely gonna be a big play. And the good thing is that I also have 1 energy attached on my Yveltal on the bench. So even if he can discard my double course energy, I can always try to attach the 1 from the hand. I go with the Sycamore, find Zoroark and the Float Stone, stand in, retreat, and again I can use my Pitch Black Spear without any problem. So there is 1 more energy attached on the Gardevoir on the bench. I still have like 4 hammers, 1 enhanced and 3 crushing hammers. This is going to be Ultra Ball. Maybe he just decided to Mega Evolve right here this turn. Nope. He actually discarded one of his Mega Gardevoirs and 1 more Fairy Energy for another Shaymin-EX. So this is going to be a setup of probably 3 extra cards. Even if he can find Spirit Link, his turn will be over. So I guess it's maybe better to not attach Spirit Link in case if he actually plays something like a Float Stone. So there is a Spirit Link, and will there be a Mega Gardevoir? Who knows? Oh, Parallel City. And actually he decided to put Parallel City on my side. I mean, it's pretty decent and normal because... Okay, nice top deck Crushing Hammer. Unfortunately this time it's not a Hex. I mean, the good thing is that I can hit with my Pitch Black Spear 440 active 1, and I can spread 60 damage on his Mega Gardevoir on the bench. On the bench, the resistance is not going to be applied. So definitely I get pretty good right here because the Klefki actually had that resistance, so I didn't knock it out his Klefki right there. And what I'm looking forward next turn to do is definitely attach my double course energy on my Zorua, so I can maybe one-hit knock out somehow his Mega Gardevoir. But if I want to knock out his Mega Gardevoir, I will need a lot of damage, but probably he will just remove some of his Pokemons from the bench. If you remove 2 Shaymins, it's going to be enough for the knockout, 130 exactly. And unfortunately, I'm not running Fighting Fury Belts, so without Fighting Fury Belt, definitely good for my opponent, not for me. But still, even if he discard 2 Shaymins on this turn, which would be probably a normal thing. Oh, he actually decided to go with the Hoopa and Klefki. Okay, doesn't matter. 1 more Yveltal to be placed in the active spot, so Enhanced Hammer is a top deck, but I cannot use that. So I'm definitely looking for another Yveltal, maybe even Yveltal-EX can be good as substitute right here. Super Rod, it's definitely gonna be played to put back some energy cards. 1 Ultra Ball for, I don't know, I can maybe even go right here for Shaymin-EX for 6. Or I can just go for Shaymin-EX for 4, because I'm still thinking maybe even Yveltal BREAK wouldn't be that bad if I can hit one. A Crushing Hammer, unfortunately tails, so let's go with the Ultra Ball for Hex Maniac and a Max Elixir for that Yveltal BREAK, so I can have actually 150 HP. So right now he cannot knock out my Zoroark, and I can Pitch Black Spear 60 and 60 on his Gardevoir on the bench. So actually 40 and 60. So for the next turn, I can actually survive somehow with my Yveltal. I can use my double course energy, attach it on my Zoroark, or even better on my Yveltal-EX, and I can try to find somehow my Max Elixir and maybe one more. Oh, there's a N, so I'm very good to see N from the other side. So right now I can even get some more resources. There's even Silent Lab in play. Okay, and I even managed to get my Zoroark right here. So right now I will definitely search my deck somehow. There's the ray. It's going to happen. So definitely I'm searching my deck for Max Elixir so I can prepare my Yveltal-EX. So 130, he decided to remove all of his Pokemons for the Gardevoir from the play. And there is a Zoroark. Let's go with a Trainers Mail. So Trainers Mail for the Float Stone. I can definitely use it. But more than that, I will just put my Silent Lab in play, and I think I will go with my Ultra Ball, because I will definitely play my Ultra Ball for Zorua. And I will use my Seeker for Sycamore so I can go for 7 cards. I'm looking for maybe Energy and a Max Elixir, and I didn't get a Max Elixir, but I get plenty of energy cards. At least I managed to get heads on the coin flip. And I will definitely try with my Trainer's Mail to find that Max Elixir, but I cannot get one. So a Lysandre is going to help, that is for sure. So 1 Darkness Energy to be attached on my Yveltal-EX, and this is going to be a Pitch Black Spear. Once again, 40-60. And at least next turn, I can knock out his Mega Gardevoir, probably with my Yveltal-EX, but maybe even not. Who knows? I have -20 resistance, and I can hit for 90. Well, actually, it's going to be exactly enough, 70 damage if I use my Ice Cyclone, so I can even recycle my double course energy to my Zoroark on the bench. So I think I'm definitely in good position right now. So there's a Sylveon-EX. I even have Lysandre in case he just decides to retreat, but he first needs to find the way to get that energy in play so he can even attack with it. I mean, triple V Secret Mediscal Pile, 4 Crushing Hammers. I don't have any hammer left, so the Trainer's Mail's played. Okay, so there is 1 more Fairy Energy attached to the Sylveon. Actually, he just decided to go with energy on the Sylveon and Sycamore for 7. So hopefully, he's definitely looking for that Mega Turbo so he can power up his Mega Gardevoir and use the Desperate Ray. But if he misses right here opportunity actually to get that Mega Turbo, I can easily Lysandre his Sylveon on the bench, but probably I'm not gonna do that. Probably I will just retreat and knock him out with my Yveltal-EX. Or maybe, yeah, probably I will do that, because I'm very scared about that Desperate Ray actually. So I definitely need to do that. Or I can even Lysandre. Okay, there's a switch. He actually did me a favor right here. So I cannot stand in. That is for sure. I cannot stand in, but I can always retreat. Always retreat by paying that double course energy, and it's gonna be a Ice Cyclone right here for the knockout. So 70, and I'm going to recycle my double course energy onto my Zoroark, just just, I don't know, to have that double course energy on my Zoroark, because I also have one in my hand, so I can always attach it on my Yveltal BREAK on the bench. But very important was to knock out his Gardevoir right here. So right now he cannot discard with his Desperate. That's definitely a good thing. And all I really need is Lysandre his Mega Gardevoir on the bench next turn, knock him out, and from that point I don't need to worry too much about that Precision Ribbon. So definitely next turn Lysandre on his Mega Gardevoir is what I need. And of course I need to power up another attacker like Yveltal. So as long as the Silent Lab is in play, he cannot even play those Shaymins. I mean, he can play Shaymin, but I guess he only have 2 of them. So there we go. Next turn he can hit for the 100, so it's not going to be enough to knock out my Yveltal-EX, where I can easily use my Ice Cyclone for the knockout, so for the 70. Do I want to remove one of my energies? I guess I can, actually, to one of my Yveltals on the bench. I will take 2 prize cards, which is one more Zoroark and one more Yveltal, but another one, actually the one with a Oblivion Wing. So, not bad. Right now I need to find a way to knock out his Sylveon. It is definitely going to be hard because of the resistance, because he can hit for the 100. Probably next turn he's going to be able to knock out my Yveltal-EX in the active position, but I can again use my Evil Ball for like 100, or I can go with my Ice Cyclone for like a 90, so I can even recycle that. Oh, there's a Lysandre on my Yveltal BREAK, so which means that he will definitely take the knockout against my Yveltal BREAK, which is even not that bad, because right now I will have 2 turns to attack with my Yveltal-EX and actually pretty much knock out his Sylveon. Knock out his Sylveon actually and win the game right here. So let's go with one Yveltal on the bench, Zoroark in play, and one Darkness Energy, Trainers Mail. Maybe I can find even very needed Parallel City, so I can remove my Shaymin from play, because it can be easy to prize once for my opponent. And another one is going to be a Zoroark. There we go. So the Evil Ball for the 120 actually. And pretty much next turn, even if he can knock out somehow my Yveltal-EX, I just need to find a way to get that double course energy. And basically I can power up my Yveltal and use that Pitch Black Spear for 60, but it's going to be a 40. But since he don't have Fighting Fury Belt attached on the Sylveon, he cannot hit for more than 100, so hitting for 100 isn't going to be enough to knock out my Yveltal. And actually the first dress up says if this Pokemon has a tool card attached to it, it will do 30 more damage. So there's a Ninja Boy. Okay, so he can definitely with the Ninja Boy surprise me and maybe take his Gardevoir hit for like 120. And in that case with the Luminous Blade he can knock me out, and something like that I actually didn't expect to see. So this is definitely very, very, very good play with the Ninja Boy. There we go, so 120. And definitely I'm going to put my Zoroark in the active position. I will definitely looking to get that. I mean, there's V-Seeker. Definitely gonna play V-Seeker, but before I do that, one energy on my baby Yveltal, a V-Seeker for N, and basically I'm going to end my opponent right here to like 2 cards. There is a very big Max Elixir, so maybe I can even hit energy. I mean, I will hit energy for sure, but I will also see the rest of my cards. I even have one more Max Elixir left. So there we go, 2 energies. And retreat. So I'm going to hit with my Oblivion Wing for 10. And 1 energy is going to be placed on my Yveltal on the bench with the Fright Knight. So next turn, all I really need is energy card. If I can hit energy card, I can go with my Darkness Blade for like 100. Minus 20 is going to be 80. Unfortunately, not enough for the knockout. Actually, it's going to be enough for the knockout, even if you can hit that Mega Water in play. But the good thing is that I actually had that end, so I could end my opponent down to 2 cards. And right now, I can just use Link Blast for the 100, because we have the same amount of the energy attached. And the top deck is actually a energy card, so I can just use my Darkness Blade pretty much for the 80, knock out his Gardevoir, take my last 2 prize cards, and actually win the game. So very, very, very good play.